What if some of the women that look the most confident aren't actually feeling that way inside? What if they're doing their best to hold it all together while silently wondering and having this doubt if they're enough? What if confidence isn't about being loud or being polished or being perfect, but really about being steady and honest? That's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about what real confidence actually looks like. Not this mask that we always put up, not this expectation of what we think it looks like, but what it really looks like. And why maybe the version that you've been carrying or chasing might be what's keeping you stuck. So before we dive in, let me ask you, have you ever looked at or compared yourself, getting stuck in that comparison trap, to another woman and thought, she is so confident, I could never be like that? If this is adding value, I encourage you to hit the like and subscribe button for more. Have you ever made yourself smaller because you didn't feel bold enough, outgoing enough, maybe ready enough? If that's you, stay with me, because that's me. I've been there. I still go there. I still have to work on it constantly, but we're going to talk about the real truth underneath all of that. The things that we don't usually say out loud. And I want to start by telling you like what that confidence used to mean to me. Like we're going to take a step back, give you a little insight into my life. But I always thought the confident women were the ones who could walk into a room and instantly start conversations. The ones who just really lit up the room as they walked in, who like had all the right words to say, the ones that seem like they just had it all figured out. And if that's you, drop me. And if it looks different to you, let me know what it looks like to you. But because I wasn't that's not how I am, I would shrink. I would feel out of place. I would get really awkward. I'd get quiet or uncomfortable. And then later on, I beat myself up for it. I truly thought something was wrong with me. And I thought I wasn't enough because I wasn't what I thought looking confident was or being confident looked like. And even though like I was showing up in so many other ways, being the best mom that I could be, being the best wife that I could be, being a leader, being a woman who deeply cares about others, I still felt like I was falling short. And I think my biggest turning point, and if you've been inside this group or listened to these lives enough times, you've heard me talk about this book. But my turning point was definitely listening to the book Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. And it was in listening to that I realized it wasn't even really about confidence, rather it was about worth. And that's why I base everything that I do off of that, because I didn't believe in mine, not fully, not deeply. And because I didn't have that solid foundation, then the confidence wasn't going to be there. And so in listening to that book, it really it was a turning point. It cracked something open in me, and it didn't fix everything overnight. Like it has taken, I don't even remember how long ago I listened to that book. Gosh, it's been probably 4 years at least that I listened to that book, 4 years ago. And it's been a work in progress ever since. So it's not an overnight fix. It's something that we have to keep coming back to, keep working on. It has taken time. It has taken a lot of reflection, a lot of unlearning old habits and old ways of thinking. But now confidence looks nothing like what I thought it had to be. Instead of, feeling like I had to be the loudest or the most vocal in the room or being the conversation starter, it looks like walking into a room and being okay with being the quiet one. It looks like trusting myself without needing to be the loudest voice. It looks like choosing what feels true over what feels impressive or what looks impressive. And it looks like staying rooted in who I am, even when the world tells me to be more or do more or say more. And sometimes I'm still a work in progress. I know when I ran for Mrs. New Mexico, I had to really reflect inward because I was definitely the quiet one when I was there. And one thing I always come back to, one thing that my dad has always taught me, and I still hear him say it, is you learn more from listening than you do from speaking. And I love being the one that people can come to and lean into when they need it. I love being the listening ear. And it's who I found myself being when I was at that pageant. And maybe that's what cost me the title. And if it is, that's okay. I'm okay with that because I was still being true to me. And I've learned it's okay to be okay with that. That can be confidence too. So what I want to ask you, and I want you to be really honest with yourself, even if you're catching this on the replay, have you ever measured your confidence based on how together you look on the outside, or instead of how secure you feel on the inside? Have you been chasing this version of confidence that doesn't actually reflect who you are. And it's so easy to get stuck in that comparison trap, especially with social media. Everybody's highlight reels. But if you have, you're not alone. And there's nothing wrong with you. You've just been given this version of confidence that doesn't tell you the whole story. We've set this impossible standard for ourselves, and something that I wish that we were taught more early on, or that we really would lean into, is that confidence is not a personality trait. It is not about being the loudest one in the room. It's not about always having the right words or the perfect timing. Confidence truly is a skill. And there's a psychologist named Albert Bandura, one of the most powerful ways that we build confidence is through something called mastery experiences. And these are the moments where you simply take action, even if it's scary, even if you're unsure, even if it means you go in it with a shaky voice and you get through it. That moment becomes evidence that you can do hard things and say hard things and stay okay. Even if it was messy, even if you had doubts, you still did it. And the really cool part about that is, and where the confidence starts stepping in, is your brain stores that as truth, or as proof. Rather, proof that you are capable, proof that you can trust yourself. And the more you do it, the more proof your brain then has. Right? So the more you collect these moments, the small follow-throughs, those quiet choices that you're making, the showing up, even through being scared, the more you rewire your brain to believe, I can handle this. And that's how that real confidence is going to be built. Not from looking the part, not from, again, being that loudest voice in the room, but from living it. One small, honest moment at a time. And again, make sure you're staying true to you. So if you're wondering how to start building that kind of confidence, I want to give you something simple to try this week, a tool. I always try to provide something that you can take away. So let's talk about what this actually looks like in your life. Because it's one thing to know that confidence is built through self-trust, but it's another to actually start rebuilding it. And rebuilding it, especially when that trust has been chipped away for years and years. So something simple but powerful that you can start this week. I want you to start noticing the small promises you keep to yourself, not the big, bold declarations. Remember, that's not what we do here. We don't make these big, massive plans that are impossible to chase. We break it down, okay? Not the I am going to change my entire life this month kind of promise, but rather the ones that happen in the quiet moments, okay? Like drinking a glass of water because I said I would. Maybe it's saying no to something that drains you, even if it is something small. Choosing to rest instead of powering through just to prove something. And that's been mine that I've been working on lately. Choosing to rest. And that's a huge win for me. Maybe it's simply turning off your phone or stepping away from your phone for 10 minutes and just breathing, taking in the world around you. Maybe it's not responding to a message just because you feel bad. And even though those moments seem so small, they are so significant. But those moments, they matter so much more than you think they do. Because every time you show yourself, I will follow through, or I can listen to what I really need, or I won't abandon myself to please anyone or everyone else, you start really rebuilding that foundation of your confidence, because you're building that trust in yourself and you're rewiring your brain to believe in what you tell yourself. So something you can do, I invite you to try, keep a small self-trust tracker this week, okay? Every time you keep a promise to yourself, I encourage you to write it down. Celebrate it. Remember, celebrations are so big. Again, a part of rewiring your brain. And it's not to be perfect. It's okay. But to show yourself that even when no one is watching you, you showed up for you, because that's where the confidence is built. Yes, it's built in those moments when you're stretching yourself, when you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, but it's also built in those quiet moments when you are keeping the promises you said you would to yourself. It's built in those breakthrough moments. It's built in the repetition of those tiny, quiet decisions that say, I matter. So, what is one small promise that you've kept for yourself recently, even if no one else saw it? Drop it in the comments for me. And again, if you can catching this on the replay, let me know. Just drop replay and let me know what's one small promise that you can think of that you've kept for yourself recently. Let's celebrate it. Let's celebrate you. And guys, I apologize. The train's getting ready to go through and it is super loud. You do not have to become someone else to feel more confidence. You do not have to get louder. You don't have to have it all figured out. You get to show up as the woman that you already are. Soft, strong, still growing, still enough. And maybe confidence looks like being the quiet one. who listens really deeply before speaking. Maybe it looks like being the bold one who walks into a room and beautifully takes up space with your entire presence. Both are okay. Both are enough. Both are beautiful. Maybe it's the one who raises her hand, or the one who finally gives herself permission to rest. Confidence is not about fitting into this mold. It's truly about trusting the version of you that is true to you, the kind that really lasts, the kind that is worth building. And I really hope that you got something from that tonight. But track those moments that you are honoring yourself and you're keeping your promises to yourself. And again, celebrate them. And as always, ladies, if this conversation hits you tonight, if you're starting to realize the version of confidence that you have been chasing isn't what you really need, I want to offer you a simple next step, okay? You don't have to have this all figured out all at once. You just need to start right where you're at. And if you haven't grabbed yours yet, ladies, make sure you grab my 3-day worth reset. It's just a 3-day course, self-paced, self-guided, and it's going to help you start recognizing your worth. Again, that is the foundation for everything. So there's no pressure, there's no performance. It's you, your timing, and just really space to rebuild and to breathe. If that's what you want, drop reset in the comments or message me reset, and I'll make sure you get the link for that free course, okay? But if you're ready to go a little bit deeper than that, maybe you need a little bit more guidance, a little bit more individualized support, then that's where my Fearless Foundations roadmap is going to help you. This one is a personalized reflection. It's going to show you exactly where those breakdowns are for your personal journey, and just small shifts that you can take to move forward with clarity. If that's what you want, drop roadmap. Again, either drop it here in the comments, message me roadmap, and I will get you the information. But we're going to take it one step at a time. Confidence is not built in a single moment. It is built in those decisions to come back to yourself again and again, and to trust yourself and to follow through on that again and again. Ladies, you are so worthy of that work. And I am so honored that you have me, or that you've chosen me to walk alongside you with it. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight, empowering you always. If you want to go deeper, I invite you to grab my 3-day worth reset. You can find it in the description.